What if tonight is the night that separates the people who truly understand football from the people who simply watch it? What if the 5 matches happening in the next few hours contain scorelines so precise, so loaded with logic and pattern and cold hard analysis, that dismissing them would be the single most expensive mistake you make all week? Tonight we have 2 matches at the absolute peak of world football, 2 giants of European competition stepping onto stages so large that the rest of the sporting world stops to watch. And alongside those 2 colossal fixtures, we have 3 other matches that carry their own drama, their own stakes, their own stories that deserve far more attention than they are going to receive from the mainstream conversation. 5 games, 5 correct scores, 1 script that is going to change the way you look at tonight completely. We are starting right now and we are not slowing down for a single second. Match 1, Barcelona vs Atletico Madrid. We open with the kind of fixture that makes you remember why you fell in love with football in the first place. Barcelona against Atletico Madrid, and the predicted correct score is 2-0 in favor of Barcelona. A clean sheet for Barcelona. Atletico Madrid shut out entirely. 2 goals for the home side without reply. And before you decide whether that surprises you or confirms everything you already suspected, I want you to think carefully about what this scoreline is actually telling you about the current state of both clubs. Barcelona at home right now are operating with a confidence that is almost uncomfortable to watch if you support the opposition. There is a fluency to how they are moving the ball, a sharpness to their pressing, a clinical edge in the final third that has been building steadily and has now reached a level where home matches at their ground feel less like contests and more like inevitabilities. They are not perfect. No team is ever perfect, but they are as close to a machine as club football currently produces, and machines do not have bad days just because the occasion is enormous. Atletico Madrid present the most interesting tactical puzzle of any side in Spanish football. Nobody organizes a defensive block with more intelligence, more discipline, more suffocating attention to detail than this club. Under normal circumstances, against a Barcelona side operating at anything less than full capacity, Atletico's defensive structure would make this game a grinding, uncomfortable, deeply unpleasant 90 minutes for the home side. But 2-0 says these are not normal circumstances. 2-0 says Barcelona find the gaps that Atletico have been hiding so carefully, find them not once but twice, and keep a clean sheet that Atletico's attacking limitations make entirely plausible. The away side will have moments, they always do, but tonight those moments will not become goals, and the goals Barcelona score will be the kind that make you wonder how Atletico's defense allowed them to happen. 2-0, Barcelona win 2-0. The Camp Nou will be electric from the first whistle to the last, and the scoreline will reflect not a comfortable evening but a dominant performance from a team that right now simply has more answers than any opponent can throw questions at them. Match 2, PSG VS Liverpool. Now we arrive at the match that the entire continent has been building toward. Paris Saint-Germain against Liverpool, and the predicted correct score is 2-0 in favor of PSG. 2-0 again. Back-to-back clean sheets in back-to-back European heavyweight fixtures. And if that pattern is telling you something, it should be telling you that tonight belongs to the home sides, that the away teams traveling into these cauldrons are going to find the environment too hostile, the quality too sharp, and the margin for error too thin to find a way back once the first goal goes in. PSG at home in European competition have spent years being questioned. Years of investment, years of expectation, years of early exits that made the world wonder if this club would ever translate domestic dominance into continental authority. And something has shifted. Something fundamental has changed about the way PSG approach these nights, about the belief they carry into them, about the tactical clarity that now underpins everything they do when the stakes reach their highest point. Liverpool traveling to Paris is a different proposition from Liverpool traveling almost anywhere else in Europe, because Liverpool bring noise. Liverpool bring intensity. Liverpool bring a pressing system and an attacking mentality that has dismantled some of the best defensive structures in the world. They do not arrive anywhere believing they cannot win. That belief is sewn into the fabric of everything Anfield has built. But 2-0 says Paris is different. 2-0 says PSG score early enough to change the psychological landscape of the match, to force Liverpool into a position they are not comfortable in, to make the pressing become desperation rather than controlled aggression. The second goal kills the game. The second goal removes the possibility of the famous comeback, the Anfield roar transported to French soil, the moment Liverpool supporters have been waiting to create all season. 2-0. PSG clinical, Liverpool frustrated, and a European night in Paris that announces something significant about where this club stands in the conversation about continental football's true elite. This is the match of the night. This is the one that changes narratives. Remember what we told you before it kicked off. Match 3, Braga vs Betis. We move now to a fixture that deserves far more attention than the shadow of two giants will allow it to receive tonight. Braga against Betis, and the predicted correct score is 1-1. A draw between two sides that both carry a style of football worth watching, both carry squads with genuine quality, and both arrive at this fixture knowing that a share of the spoils would represent a complicated but ultimately acceptable outcome. 1-1 is not a failure for either club, but it is also not the result that either of them set out to achieve, and that tension between ambition and reality is what makes this prediction so interesting. Braga at home in European competition are not the passive hosts that the global audience tends to assume when they see a Portuguese club outside of Porto, Benfica, or Sporting. They press aggressively, they transition quickly, and their home record in European football over recent seasons reflects a club that genuinely believes it can compete with and beat sides operating at a higher level of resources and reputation. Betis carry something from Spain that travels well. There is a technical quality to how they play, a commitment to building through the ball rather than abandoning their principles under pressure, that makes them genuinely difficult to contain for 90 minutes. One goal against them is never enough because they have the patience and the craft to find an equalizer even in moments when the game seems to be running away from them. 1-1. Braga score and the belief surges through the stadium. Betis respond because that is what technically excellent sides do when they are momentarily behind. The second half becomes a chess match neither side can ultimately win, and the draw is confirmed in a final 10 minutes where both teams probe without conviction. A fair result that satisfies nobody completely and everybody partially. Match 4, Plovdiv vs Lokomotiv Plovdiv. Now we travel to Bulgaria, and if the word Plovdiv means nothing to you right now, pay attention because it is about to mean something. Plovdiv against Lokomotiv Plovdiv, and the predicted correct score is 2-1 in favor of Plovdiv. A city derby. Two clubs from the same city, the same streets, the same neighborhoods, the same local pride split directly down the middle by football allegiance. If you want to understand what football means at its most primal, most unfiltered, most honest level, watch a city derby in a league that the global audience ignores. Because the passion in that stadium tonight will not be manufactured by marketing departments or amplified by television production. It will be real, completely, uncomplicatedly real. But Plovdiv at home in this fixture carry the kind of intensity that transforms average players into warriors and good players into something approaching remarkable. The expectation from their supporters is not just to win, it is to win with conviction, to show Lokomotiv and everyone watching that this half of the city is the right half to be on. 2-1 says they deliver on most of that expectation. 2 goals from the home side, a response from Lokomotiv that makes the final stages genuinely nervous, and a victory that feels harder than the margin suggests. The 1-goal Lokomotiv score will silence the home end briefly and reignite a contest that Plovdiv thought they had controlled. But control will return. The second goal will be enough. 2-1, the home side win the derby, and Plovdiv belongs to one colour for another week. This fixture will produce more raw emotion per minute than almost anything else happening in European football tonight. Do not let the level fool you into thinking it matters less. Match 5, Montana vs CSKA Sofia. We close tonight with the most emphatic prediction on the entire list. Montana against CSKA Sofia, and the predicted correct score is 0-3 in favor of CSKA Sofia. 3 goals. Clean sheet for the away side. Montana shut out and beaten heavily on their own ground. And when you look at the gap in quality between these two sides right now, 0-3 is not a shock. 0-3 is almost conservative. CSKA Sofia are operating at a level that Montana simply cannot match. The resources, the squad depth, the individual quality, the tactical sophistication, the winning mentality built through competing at the top of Bulgarian football across a history that spans decades of domestic dominance. Bringing all of that to a ground where the home side is fighting a completely different battle for completely different stakes is the definition of a mismatch. Montana will work. They will press. They will put in the effort that their supporters deserve from them regardless of the scoreline. But effort without the quality to back it up against a team like CSKA Sofia becomes a lesson rather than a contest. And tonight's lesson will be delivered in 3 separate moments, 3 separate goals, each one removing a little more of the hope that Montana carried into the game. 0-3. CSKA Sofia arrive, CSKA Sofia score 3 times without reply, and CSKA Sofia leave having barely needed to shift out of second gear. The most one-sided result on tonight's card, and yet even in that one-sidedness there is something worth watching. Because seeing a club of CSKA Sofia's history and tradition execute a professional away performance in a fixture like this tells you something real about where their standards are set. 0-3. No drama. Just quality asserting itself exactly as it should. 5 matches. 5 correct score predictions. Barcelona 2 Atletico Madrid 0. PSG 2 Liverpool 0. Braga 1 Betis 1. But Plovdiv 2 Lokomotiv Plovdiv 1. Montana 0 CSKA Sofia 3. Tonight takes us from the grandest stages in European club football all the way to a Bulgarian city derby that will be felt in every street of Plovdiv before the night is over. That is the full spectrum of what this sport offers, and we have covered every inch of it. The home sides dominate in the elite fixtures. The draws produce fair but unsatisfying conclusions in the middle of the card. And the gulf in quality between Montana and CSKA Sofia asserts itself without apology or complication. Come back when the final whistles blow. Let every scoreline tell its own story. And if tonight confirms what this video told you before a single ball was kicked, you already know exactly what to do. Tonight is loaded. Every match on this list is ready to deliver. Make sure you are ready to watch.